Hey guys, it's me, Amy. My sweet friend, Bridget Harold Fulton, introduced me. She knows I like to cook, and she's so sweet. She introduced me to all things Mitford community because it's about cooking as well, and it's books you read about it, and it's a wonderful little series. She sent me a picture actually of their cookbook they put out about the series because it's so much about food, and then she let me borrow these books, and they're wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. These books, this is not all the Mitford series. This is just 3. There's several more I saw, but I'm reading them. I'm still in the first one. I'm just a beginner, and they are wonderful. Wonderful little books, and maybe I'll talk about them a little while later because I'm actually going to share this onto the page. All things Mitford community that Bridget showed me. And do y'all see this beautiful orange marmalade cake? Well, that is going to be what we make. That's going to be what we make today, and it is gorgeous. And y'all saw that cake. This is actually someone on there, Diane Perry Hassler. I hope I say her name right. But it's gorgeous, Diane, and I hope that I can do half as good as you. Yes, I do. But I'm really excited about it. I'm kind of nervous, too, because this is something new, because I'm like a beginner in this little community. But I visited all the comments on there of everybody on there, and everyone on there are just darling sweet. Just like Bridget, my sweet friend, because she is just a doll. And so if you go visit there, you're going to want to try to find you a place, even if you just rent a place and just move into the community. I just love it. But this is the thing that Bridget knew I would be the most interested in, was the cookbook that was put out about the Mitford series. And she is so right, because I went straight on Amazon and I ordered it for myself. And here is the orange marmalade cake, Esther's orange marmalade cake. In here they refer to the OMC, okay? I got tickled how they shortened that up like that. But anyway, we're going to make it today, and I hope that everybody in the community doesn't mind if I do a video and share how to make the cake, because it's very exciting to me. But I know you won't, because all of you on there are so very sweet, kind souls. So let's get started. And it is pretty time consuming, so I am going to probably do some things with you and then turn off the camera and finish it up and then get back on here, so y'all won't just be on here forever with me. But anyway, get you a glass of sweet tea or a cup of coffee, and let's make this cake. Yeah. All right, y'all, let's get started. This is what we're going to need, and I'm going to do it exactly how Esther says, okay? 1 cup of unsalted butter, softened, and more for greasing your pans. And so I went and I got some butter, and I went to a big discount store, and my big package said 4 sticks of butter, and I thought that meant 4 sticks of butter in each one of my little boxes. No, it meant 4 blocks of butter. Do y'all see this butter? It's crazy. But it's softened. I got it out early this morning, and it's nice and softened for us. We don't want it melted, just softened. So I'm going to put this, I don't even have a butter dish that would hold this thing, y'all. So I had to put it, in there. Okay, so what did it say? We need 1 cup unsalted butter. I'll get my cup measuring spoon. I'm going to get me a cup of unsalted butter. I've got my ovens. It says preheat your ovens to 350 degrees. So I have my oven. He's preheating over there. I hear him. All right, y'all. Got my cup. Let's see what I do with this. Okay. I'm just going to put this in here first. That was first on the list, but it's not first on the task, really, to start mixing. Does that make sense? All right, y'all. Next, it says I need to butter and flour 3 9-inch cake pans. And I love that. That's one thing, y'all, on this picture. again, I'm going to show you. It's only got 2 thick layers. Y'all see that? And I was kind of disappointed when I saw the picture because I love lots of layers. That way you get the icing or whatever you're flavoring your cake with. You get a better ratio cake to icing. But I was pleased to see that in the actual recipe, it has you using 3 cake pans. So it will at least be 3 layers deep. So I like that. I like that even better. All right, so we're going to lightly butter and grease. Now, y'all, I love to use this when I bake. It has flour already in this spray, and it's wonderful. It's like you're flouring and buttering your cake pans, but that's not what Esther says to do. And by George, we better stick to Esther's recipe because you know she fuss. I read that much. I know she would not like it. She's not going to even like me sharing this with everybody on Facebook, is she? Or YouTube or wherever I end up putting this. So I have buttered 2 of my pans and floured them, okay? And I'm just going to show y'all the last one. And this is real good, y'all. That butter that I softened, here's the big old package that it was. Well, that's a real good thing. I can rub around in here, not even have to get it back into my butter. This is plenty right here. Plenty, plenty. Make the butter and get in all your little cracks there, because that's where that cake might try to stick, okay? And y'all tell Esther, but she says for me to put parchment paper in the bottom too to ensure. And guess what? I'm out of parchment paper. And I usually have it. See, y'all tell her I'm not putting it. I'm going to live on the edge and not put that parchment paper. That's flour that I'm just using out of one pan to the other like that. I'm kind of tapping it around. Get it all floured up real good like that, okay, y'all? And then the excess I'm going to tap out into my garbage can. Real quick, like that. Now he's fixed up too. Okay. So we did our first step. Next, we have our oven preheating. Okay, now I'm going to sift my flour, baking powder, and salt into a large bowl. Let me grab my large bowl. I tried to get everything out before I got on here with y'all. So I just won't be forever in a day. And if you do not have a sifter, a sifter, if you don't have a sifter, don't fear, because you can also use like a strainer. You can put everything in there and just kind of tap it like that over your bowl, okay? So don't think, well, I can't even get started on this because I don't have a sifter. Let's see here. We're gonna need 3 1/4 cups of cake flour, and this is the cake flour that I'm using. A lot of times I'll just use all-purpose flour, but Esther uses cake flour, so we're using cake flour. And I think cake flour actually, when I use it, it seems to make your cake a little more tender. It's just, it's cake flour, so that's what we're gonna use. It's made just for making your cakes, just perfect, so. That's what we're going to do. And what did I say? 3 1/4 cups of cake flour. Okay. Okay, and it's sifted. And then guess what it says? It says to sift it again. Wow. So this is what I do when something calls for sifted. I'm going to sift it, and then I'm going to measure it, okay? Because doing this packs up that flour, measuring it like that. So you see, I'm going to do 3 1/4 cups, and you watch, it's going to come out more than 3 1/4 cups. And then I'll sift it that second time with the baking powder and the salt and all that in it. Because I don't want our cake to be too tough or dry or any of that. We sure do not. We got to make Esther proud, don't we? All right, that's 3, y'all. Me saying y'all, I guess y'all can tell I'm from Louisiana. I wonder where all of y'all are from. Y'all tell me. Okay, y'all. Let's see. Get me a quarter cup out here. Okay, that's 3 1/4 cups. Now, let's measure 3 1/4 cups there. And we will be surprised since it's going to be more than 3 1/4 cups now that I've sifted it. All right, we'll get the quarter out of the way. Let me grab a knife real quick so I can do a real good measurement on this. Okay, y'all see that? Okay, you can see me good now, can you? Y'all, you won't believe all the ingredients I've got out for this cake. Okay, there we go. This is my quarter. And then we'll do 3 of these. Yeah, now y'all can see me. Shave it off. That's 1. Two. If y'all don't have this cookbook, it's really cute. It'll actually have a lot of the book in it. And one of the funny stories it's got before this cake is apparently sometime or another Esther has some sort of an accident. And she's in a cast. And she's in a, she's even got her mouth, her jaws wired shut. That's 3, right y'all? Now look, that's 3 1/4. Look at there. How much more is left over. You see how dry that would have made our cake? So, that's why we sift. Okay. So now I've got 3 1/4 here. Get all this out of the way. Now she wants us to, I'm going to put this part I didn't use of the sifted back into my bowl. There we go. Okay. Now, it says to sift it again. Can y'all believe that? Can you believe that? She was particular, wasn't she? But that's how her character is in there. But anyway, my story, it tells you this story, and a lot of y'all have probably already read it. I'm trying to concentrate here and make sure I'm counting up 3. And then that's going to be my quarter. Okay. So, they need this recipe for something going on in town. I can't remember what it is, and some ladies have to get together with her, and she's kept this recipe so secret. They have to get with her and try to figure it out with her mouth wired shut now. And it is hilarious. I was laughing out loud reading about it. It's in the front of here too. I haven't read that in the books yet, but I loved it. Okay, y'all, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm going to put that over in my sifter. That's not flat out, and I don't want to put too much. You better straighten up there. Baking powder. Then we need 1 teaspoon salt. Get that over in my sifter. And I believe that's all it is. Sift flour, baking powder, and salt into a large bowl. Okay, here we go. Our second sifting. There we go. Y'all, I'm actually making this cake. I thought it'd be a sweet thing because Bridget was so sweet to me. I want to share this cake with her, so I'm making this and I'm going to surprise her with it. And I cannot wait. I just can't wait. I'm tickled about it. Okay, I've got my stuff sifted. Let's see what's next. Sift a second time. We did that. In the bowl of an electric mixer, beat the butter on medium speed until light in color, about 4 minutes. So, we've got our 1 cup of butter, unsalted, softened, right here. I'm going to beat this for 4 minutes, and I'll be right back on here with y'all, because I know y'all don't want to sit on here for 4 minutes and watch butter beat. Okay, y'all, next we're going to have 2 2/3 cups of sugar, white granulated sugar. So that's 1. 2 cups. Now I'm going to do the 2/3. This is 1/3 and 2/3. That's a lot of sugar in it. I bet this is a nice rich cake, isn't it? All right, y'all, I'm gonna spin us back around here to our mixer. I've got 50 seconds left, and we're gonna start adding this into a steady stream. Esther says, add the 2 1/3 cups sugar in a steady stream with the mixture running, and then beat until light and fluffy about 4 more minutes. So, let's get started, y'all. A steady stream. You can hear that mixer taking on the sugar, can't you? It's slowing down like, hey. I turned it up just a notch. Okay, Esther is some kind of particular, isn't she? All right, y'all, 4 more minutes, and then I will be back with y'all. I'll be back. All right, y'all, it has been 4 more minutes till light and fluffy, Esther says, and I would say that's light and fluffy. Do y'all see that? That's very light and fluffy, isn't it? Butter and sugar. Is there anything better? Okay, next she says, add the eggs and yolks one at a time, beating well after each addition. Okay. Y'all aren't gonna believe how many eggs. If y'all haven't read this recipe before, it is 5 eggs, whole eggs, and 4 egg yolks. 9 eggs altogether. Can y'all believe that? Ah! Okay. I'm just like, all right. Which I have chickens, and right now I have an abundance of eggs. So hey, it's all good. It's all good. And I bet it's gonna be nice and rich. Just a little bitty piece to help a whole lot. I can see how that this has contributed to Father Tim's diabetes in his jogging. But anyway, let's see here. I've got my 5 whole eggs in here already, y'all, and I saved out my eggs that I'm just gonna get the yolks out from to do that on here with y'all. So I'm gonna crack my egg in half. And I've got this bowl, and I'm just going to use my fingers, okay? And I did pre-wash my eggs because they're fresh from my coop. So I pre-washed them before I use them. I don't pre-wash them when I bring them inside because that washes off the bloom. Do y'all see how it just, the white ran right through my fingers like a sifter, and all I've got is the yolk. So that's 1 yolk. If you pre-wash your eggs, though, you wash off the bloom that's on them naturally. And when you do that, it allows bacteria to begin to penetrate your shells and break your eggs down. And we don't want to do that, do we? So I just wait till right before I'm about to use them, especially if I'm going to be doing this. That's 2 egg yolks. Try not to break an egg yolk, y'all. Here we are. And if you have a sifter, that's great. I do not. I just do it like this. That's 3. We've got 1 more. And we will add these 1 at the time, beating them in between each one, just like Esther's telling us to. Okay. Y'all excuse me just for a moment. I'm going to rinse my hands off of those eggs. And we'll turn this back on. And we will do just that. Only on about medium. That's another thing I want to talk about is I'm going to add 1 at a time and let it get in there good. You don't want to beat your cakes on high, okay, because it will pump a lot of air into your cake batter, and then your cakes will, they'll rise real pretty in the oven, but as they're cooling off, they'll just, whoo, they'll settle down and be like a little flat tire on you. And after you work so hard, you don't want to do that. So we don't want to pump too much air into our cake at this point. So medium speed. Y'all see, I'm just adding 1 at a time. And if you accidentally drop 2, it's not any big deal either, okay? And then Esther says on here, after the, oh wait. Be sure to stop at least once to scrape down the batter from the sides of the bowl. Then after adding all the eggs Continue to beat on medium speed for 2 minutes. She even says medium speed, doesn't she? She sure does. She knows what she's talking about, doesn't she? Of course, I kind of gathered that from old Esther. The only thing I'm different about Esther is whenever I have a recipe, I'll share it with anybody who wants to learn to cook or loves to cook or anything, because it's very important that we keep that going, isn't it? My granddaughter gets in the kitchen and cooks with me a lot, and even my grandsons, and I love that. Okay, we scraped it down. Make Esther happy, huh? And she says continue to beat. How long did I say, y'all? 2 more minutes on medium. So we're going to go 1, 2. Y'all, what I was telling y'all, I'm going to share this recipe, or share this cake with Bridget, who introduced me to all of you and y'all's beautiful, wonderful little community. And this book that I love so much, because she's so sweet. She's one of those sweet, kind souls, a lot like y'all, that I see all your comments in your little community. For me to describe Bridget, and for all of you that's not in the community that y'all know Bridget personally, y'all will agree with me 100%. If the whole world was made of Bridget Harold Fultons, okay, we would already be in heaven. And I mean that with the sincerest part of my heart. She is that genuine and sweet and kind and giving. And I thank God every day that I know her, and that she's in my life, because she makes it worth it. She makes it worth it. Yes, she does. Can y'all tell I love her? But a lot of us love her. We really do. So that's why I want to take this cake and share it with her. We've got 50 seconds left, y'all. I'll be back if I can find my little clicker to turn us off. Nope, didn't turn us off. Hey guys, I'm back. I do save all my shells to feed back to my chickens though, because they love them, love them. So I'm going to take that little plate out to them later, maybe while the cake's baking. Okay, our next step, she says in here, after all the eggs have been added, for 2 minutes, with the mixture on low speed, add the oil and beat for 1 more minute. And the oil is vegetable oil, and it's 2/3 cup. So let me pour us out 2/3 cup of vegetable oil. Find my 2/3 cup. There it is. Took me a second, y'all. Get this down on the levels. Yeah, I got a little bit too much in there holding him up like that. We gotta do it right, don't we? That's one thing about baking. You can't even fudge just a little bit or you mess it up, won't you? Did she want it running when we did this too? Y'all, I normally just dump and mix. Do y'all? With the mixer on low speed, add the oil. Yes, yes. Okay, we're on low. And we're going to beat for 1 minute. And then I'll be back again, y'all. All right, y'all. Next, she says, we are going in a small bowl to combine our orange zest, vanilla, and buttermilk. And the buttermilk is to be room temperature. So much earlier, I had poured us 1 cup of buttermilk, like she wants us to do. And then next, we add in the orange zest. And we need 1 tablespoon of orange zest. And I wanted to show y'all that. I've got my little orange, and I washed him really, really good so I could use his zest, okay? And then when I zest, or when we zest anything, and if you don't have zester, she even says in this book, you can actually cut your peel off, but don't get down into the white, only the color, because that white is very bitter, okay? So that's whenever I zest. She says you can cut it off like that and chop it in teeny tiny little pieces, but oh my goodness, that's gonna take a while, isn't it? But y'all see, I'm just doing 1 scrape on that color, and then I'll move it like that on this orange, because with oranges, limes, lemons, even grapefruit, you don't want to go any further past just to get the color off, because then you get into that bitterness, okay? And she just says 1 tablespoon of orange zest, and it smells so nice, y'all. So let's see, I believe I've got a tablespoon of zest going on here. I do. I cook videos all the time, y'all, because I'm doing this new one and it's Esther's and it's got so much clout around it. I'm kind of nervous. Oh goodness. All right, got that in my buttermilk. And what was the last thing? I think it was the vanilla, wasn't it? Vanilla, and it's 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And you do need to use a good vanilla extract. If you use the off-brands, honestly, it tends to ruin your entire dessert. If you say, what is that weird flavor? It's that off-brand vanilla. So it does need to be a good vanilla, okay? It just does. I know it's expensive, but it needs to be a really good brand. Y'all, it's just the teeniest little bit left in there, so I'm going to let it go in there too. Okay, now at this point, y'all, we no longer beat this. She says now we are to fold in the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients, and we go back and forth, like when you're making a cake from scratch, but we are not to beat it. So by George, we better do what Esther says, right? Y'all see how light and fluffy. I'll put that up there too, y'all, so far, and let y'all see each. I'm trying to get all the goodie off this little beater, y'all. my paddle. All right, that's a good amount of goodie. Let me move that over there to my sink. And y'all see it already? Isn't it light and fluffy and pretty? And maybe that's why she wants us to start folding. So if y'all will please excuse me, I'm going to move my mixer down on the shelf and get him out our way. All right, now I'm going to read it. Use a rubber spatula, fold in half of the dry ingredients, scrape down the sides of the bowl, and add half the buttermilk mixture. Fold in the remaining dry ingredients, scrape down the sides, and add the remaining buttermilk mixture. Y'all got all that? I am going to stir up just a little bit our buttermilk mixture with the orange zest and lemon. I bet that smells good. It smells like it make a great ice cream. Yes. Yes, it does. Okay, y'all. So we start with the dry and we end with the liquid. So we're going to fold in, did she say half? Yes. So we'll do half with our rubber spatula. About half out of there. Okay. And fold just simply means kind of go to the bottom and come up like that. Like you're just folding it in. I hope y'all can see me doing this pretty good. Folding like that. And then she'll say scrape down those sides. I'll fold it a little more. And then you can kind of, when you fold from the outside, then kind of cut down in the middle and fold again. Like that. Folding them all from the outside and then cut down in the middle and fold like that. Okay, y'all? Now I'm going to do half of my buttermilk, zest and vanilla mixture. Same thing, I'm going to fold. Fold from the outside, and then I'm going to fold from the inside like that. I'm scraping down my sides as I'm going along. Okay. Oh goodness, somebody needs me. I have to get back with them. We're in a fourth part, aren't we? Let's see here. Folding, going from the middle and then from the outside folding. Now I'm going to add the last of my buttermilk mixture, and I will take my spatula and get all of that good out, all that good vanilla and orange zest. We don't want to waste a little, not even a tidbit, do we? Okay, y'all. Oh, I hope that Bridget loves this cake. I know she'll have a fit when I take it to her, but maybe she'll share a little piece with me. Yo, I'm just dying to taste it. I am. Okay, y'all, at this point, I've got it all folded in there. This makes a big, old, huge amount of cake, doesn't it? And don't think this gets wasted, okay? We're going to use him later into the cake recipe. Yes, we are. All right, now, y'all, we get out our cake pans that we buttered and floured. And we're going to pour it in here, and we're going to bake these at 350. I have finished that page. Let's turn it. 30 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into them comes out clean. So we will do that. All right, let me try to get this even Steven in here. Oh, this already smells so wonderful. Goodness, it does. All right, y'all. And then it says for me to bang my pans down, make sure I have no bubbles, you know, no bubbles in my cake batter. Let me get this all spread out good. I would turn y'all off, but then I need to turn y'all right back on, wouldn't I? All right, spread that out. Spread everybody out good. There we go. Spread, spread, spread. Okay. I didn't get around. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna slide these into my oven. And that's another thing, y'all. I know that with 3 cake pans, a lot of times we can't get them all on one tray in here. So try to get your cake pans as much close to the middle as you can. Like, don't have one way down on the bottom, because it's just going to cook on the bottom of your pan. And don't have one way up to the top. So try to get as close to the middle of your oven as you can, okay? And in 30 minutes, I'm going to check it with a toothpick and see if it comes out clean. All right, y'all, the next thing we need to do, it's called the filling, and this is going to be put in between each layer is a jar. Let's make sure I got the right size jar. 12-ounce jar of orange marmalade. This is an 18-ounce jar of orange marmalade, but that's okay. I'm going to still heat it up all the way. And I would have loved to make homemade, but my goodness, we'll be on here all week, will we? All right, y'all. I'm going and heat. Maybe I can guesstimate about 12 out of 18. I sure don't want to short this cake, though, do I? No, I don't. Just put in there. If I don't end up using it, I won't. Let's just put it all in there. Okay, y'all. All she wants us to do now, let me move my Mitford books. I sure don't want to get them too hot, do I? No, I do not. She just wants us to heat this up and then turn it off and let it cool. I guess that makes it easier spreadable. Yeah, heat the marmalade in a small saucepan over medium heat until just melted. Let cool for 5 minutes. So I'm going to do that first. And then next, she wants us to make this orange syrup. And the orange syrup, we're going to spoon into each and every layer. So it's going to moisten our cakes. Oh my goodness. Isn't this going to be out of sight? Yes, it is. Okay, y'all. So go back to my orange syrup. It's going to be 1 cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. And that's what we're going to do with this orange that we zested. I'm going to freshly squeeze him, 1 cup. Maybe he'll give us a cup. If not, I've got some more oranges. And that's getting a lot of the orange meat in there, so I'm going to get me a little strainer. And I'm going to strain that out. See if y'all can see that. I want everybody to see what I'm doing. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that's a quarter of a cup. I'm gonna need another orange. I'm gonna need some more orange, aren't I? All right, y'all, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna get this heated up and then let it cool down. And I will be back, okay? Okay, y'all, 1/4 cup granulated sugar. We are making our orange syrup that we're going to pour onto each one of our cakes while they're cooling. And my cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. I just really want to drink that, don't y'all? And then I'm just going to whisk this until this gets, the sugar's dissolved all in there. My cakes have about 5 minutes left. And to get them out, I'm going to read that to y'all. Okay, on my orange syrup, it says, in a small bowl, stir together the orange juice and 1/4 cup of sugar until the sugar is dissolved. While the cakes are still in the cake pans, use a toothpick or skewer to poke holes 1/2-inch intervals in the cake layers. Spoon the syrup over each layer, allowing the syrup to be completely absorbed before adding the remainder. Let the layers cool completely in the pans. So that is what I'm going to do here next. And then I'm going to make my frosting while my cake layers are cooling. But I'll come back on here and show you how I'm going to do this. And I just want to let you know what my next step is, to get my cakes out and let them cool, okay? While the cake is finishing baking, I want to read this little passage in here about the author, Karon, who writes At Home in Mitford and the whole Mitford series. Here's what she says. To make a long story short, something I very much dislike doing, I had walked away from a successful advertising career to write a novel about an aging, overweight village priest. If that sounds tedious, get this. In my book, there would be no cussing, no sex, and no mayhem. I would surely starve, but it would be a noble death. And so for my viewers out there that isn't into this or in the community of this, just to give you, that sums all these books up. They're fantastic, and I thank Bridget again. So I'm going to take her this cake and thank her for even introducing me to them, because they're wonderful, wonderful little books, if that's what you're into, because it's great. Okay, y'all, got my cakes out. Ooh, they smell good. And my toothpick comes out clean, just like that. Clean, clean. So I'm going to put these on the rack. I'm going to get me a rack out. And I'm going to let these cool in the pan, because then we're going to poke holes and we're going to put this syrup on them. So let's give them a few minutes to cool, okay? Okay, guys, I've had my mixing bowl chilling. You see how frosty he is? I washed him good and put him in the freezer because Esther tells us to have it chilled, okay? Let's see. It's going to be, this is our frosting, and it sounds good. 1 cup heavy cream, chilled. Got it, chilled. 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and 1 cup of chilled sour cream. And into a chilled mixing bowl. In a chilled mixing bowl, use the wire whisk attachment. Whip the heavy cream with the 4 tablespoons of sugar until stiff peaks, and then add the sour cream a little at a time and whisk until the mixture is in spreadable consistency. So that's what I'm about to do, y'all. Get my wire whisk attachment here. And I'm going to do this very thing. I'll get it started whipping, and then I'll come back on here and show y'all and let you know how long it took. Okay, y'all, it's been going for 1.5 minutes, and it says some peaks form, and y'all see how peaks are kind of forming up in that heavy whipping cream, one of my favorite things. So I'm gonna keep whipping it, and it wants me to add, or Esther wants me to add sour cream, 1 cup of chilled sour cream, a little at a time. So I'll do that with y'all on here if you want me to. I gotta whip it Whip it up pretty quickly though. Alright, get this cup out of here. Okay, we'll start adding a little at a time. This is a fantastic cake, isn't it, y'all? I agree. It's fabulous. Fabulous. Alright, now real quick, I'm going to scrape everything down so we can get it all together. I like that sour cream in this icing. It's not going to be, it's going to be so light and not real sweet, isn't it? So you're really going to definitely need that with that rich cake, aren't you? It's a good little combination, isn't it? It says I whip it until it's spreadable consistency, y'all. And y'all see how that's dripping off? That's not going to stay good, so we got to whip it some more time. So I just keep checking it every several seconds because you don't want to over whip it and get way too stiff. Might turn into butter, huh? Yeah, you see that? He's staying up on there. Now he's gonna stay on the cake and he's spreadable, right? Perfect. All right, y'all, my cakes have to cool for 7 more minutes and then we will start assembling. Well, 7 more minutes before we put our syrup on there. And I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator to keep it nice and chilled until then. These cakes have been cooling exactly 20 minutes. And now it says you can use a toothpick or a wooden skewer to poke holes, and Esther says 1/2 inch apart. That translates to me to a whole bunch of holes in there, okay? And I've got these little wooden skewers I like to use instead of a toothpick, but she says you can use a toothpick too. So just a whole lot of holes in there, okay? And now we're gonna take our orange syrup we made with our 1 cup of fresh orange juice and that 1/4 cup of sugar. And I've got this little brush, and it's actually a silicone brush. I like the ones with the bristles because sometimes the bristles will come off. I like that. I don't like it in my food. So anyway, you see, and we leave them in the pan, and they're still warm on the bottom because they've only been cooling 20 minutes, okay? And they're wanting us to get these totally saturated like this. And keep doing this until I get rid of all of this juice. That's going to be a bunch of saturation, isn't it? This cake is going to be like an experience when you take a bite of it, isn't it? It's just going to be a wow experience. I'm going to take it to Bridget all pretty, and then I'm going to take me a couple of to-go containers and say, can I get 2 pieces, one for me and my husband? She'll be glad to let me do that, but I want to take it to her all whole and pretty. Okay, y'all. And after I get all of this painted in here, or, you know, you can drizzle just a little bit, but you let it absorb as it goes along, like that. By the time you finish with them, you can start back over. And then it says set them back on my rack over here, and I'm just sticking them on my stove back there. It doesn't have any pilot lights, so it'll just cool and let them completely cool. And then we will assemble this beautiful, beautiful cake. Esther's OMC. Guys, I would love to put this cake on a beautiful cake plate or cake stand, but since I'm transporting it to my sweet friend Bridget, I'm going to put it in a carrier, okay? Now, it says, I actually cooled mine. I let them come completely to room temp because, you know, we're putting this heavy whipping cream on there. We don't want it to get warm at all. But even to ensure it be a little more cool, I actually put mine on a big tray and slid this into my freezer and let them really get cold. I mean, they're really cold to the touch. So that way I know they're not warm left anywhere. This is our marmalade. It says to put 1/3 of it on our first layer. And I'm going to do that. And y'all know I did a little more marmalade. It was 18 ounces instead of 12, but that's okay, right? So we may not use it quite all, but we will. We just might use it. Who knows? We will see. We'll play it by ear, huh? Y'all see I'm just doing a thin layer, about 1/3 of it there on my first layer. And I'm flipping my cakes upside down because I like them to have a flatter, more uniform top on them. So I make the bottom the top. And y'all, I'm cheating. These cakes are so moist from all of that syrup that I don't even want to try to pick them up. I'm afraid they're going to fall in half. Y'all see I cheated? I've got me a pizza picker upper. Hey, we do what we have to, don't we? All right, I'm going to put another 1/3 on here like that. And that marmalade did, just because we heated it up and then let it cool, it is more spreadable. So that is necessary. It's kind of more jellied like, you know, before in the jar, and that just kind of makes it stay a little looser, I guess you'd call it. Okay, y'all? Last one. We are just about to get Miss Esther's orange marmalade cake done, aren't we? I am so tickled. And I think it is going to be so good. I cannot wait to give this to Bridget. Okay, Esther says in the book to put the rest of it in the center on top. And y'all know I did a little more, so we better be kind of careful here. She wants us to leave 1 1/4 inch around the edges to kind of wrap that fluffy, heavy cream and sour cream and sugar icing. So I'm going to be very careful to leave us a nice little border. It says you also can just ice the whole cake with that heavy cream and then come back and put the marmalade on top of it, but that's not how it is in the pictures. And so we're going to do it just like Esther does it, right? We're not going to do that. Okay, y'all. Does that look pretty good? I've just kind of got it in a round circle here on the top. Maybe Esther will approve, y'all think? Let me wash this real quick, y'all, because I want to use it to put our cream on. Y'all know I've had that heavy cream in the refrigerator because we don't want it to get warm, do we? All right. I'm going to begin icing the sides of it. And hope and pray. I'm going to pray this all comes out as pretty as Diane's, because hers was just gorgeous. Yes, it was. And I'm showing y'all as I go. But I'll just come back and play with it. Play with it, and make sure it gets pretty. My husband's coming in. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Well, I'm working.
Where'd that spatula come from? I don't see that very often.
I keep it hidden from you.
Oh, okay.
John likes to use my cake decorating utensils for scrambling eggs and such as that, so some of them I have to hide. All right,
It
y'all.
works so good.
Yep. Okay, y'all, I'm going to keep this up and I'll be back, okay? Okay, guys, I've been working on it. It's looking good, isn't it? I've got just a little left. I'm kind of just dolloping it around the top here. Make it look nice and pretty and fluffy. And then what we do next is we cover it, and it needs to be refrigerated. It says for at least 2 hours, so it'll be nice and chilled and set. And I'm going to do that, if not overnight, and take it to Bridget tomorrow. So I will see, and maybe I'll run into her and can show y'all Bridget, my sweet friend who introduced me to all of y'all. But anyway, here it is. Here is Esther's orange marmalade cake in all its splendor. It is a beautiful cake, isn't it? It almost looks like a jewel or something. I love it. I hope I'm making Esther proud. And anyway, it was so good to meet all of y'all, and I hope to find a place I can reside in this community too, because I just love each and every one of you. Y'all just seem wonderful and sweet. So I'm gonna stick around.